A pleasant morning, students. I hope everyone is staying safe in your home. Today, start new topic exponents and powers. Shall we go to lesson?
Introduction, powers with negative exponents, expanding decimal numbers, laws of exponents, smaller numbers in standard form, comparing very large and very small numbers. Let's say if I ask you, how far is your school from your home? So the distance between your home and your school might be a smaller number, maybe somewhere around 15 kilometers, even if we consider that the school is not very near to your place. So 15 is not a very big number, so it can be very conveniently represented like this, 15 kilometers. Now if we ask you the distance between your city and another city, so let's say the distance between Bangalore and Delhi. So if you compare the distance between these two cities, the number increases. So it might be somewhere around 1700 kilometers. So again, 1700 is definitely a bigger number than 15, but still it is like quite okay to be conveniently represented. So this is also fine. Now, if I ask you what is the distance between your country and let's say any other country, for example, we say distance between India and South America. So if you talk about this distance, it might be somewhere around 14,953 kilometers. So you see, gradually as the distance is increasing, the numbers are also increasing. Now if I ask you the distance between your planet and the sun, so distance between Earth and sun, what's that distance? So it is somewhere around 150 million kilometers. Right? So when you look at these numbers, what do you see? First, you talk about 15. Then we spoke about 1700. Then we spoke about 15,000. And then we spoke about 150 millions. So what happens as the number increases, we see that it becomes very difficult to represent big numbers. Like if I ask you to represent 150 million kilometers in figures, in numbers, how would you represent? You need to write 15 followed by 7 zeros. So that's not a very convenient representation. Now you can even have numbers as big as maybe 150 followed by 15 zeros or 17 zeros or even 20 zeros. So what do we do to kind of handle these kind of scenarios? So the concept of exponents, the concept of powers makes the representation of bigger numbers easier. Now when I say bigger numbers, not only the bigger numbers, even the smaller numbers. For example, so these are all examples which are given to show the bigger distances. Now if we talk about smaller sizes, for example, if I ask you the size of a cell is very, 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 very tiny. It's microscopic. You talk about the size of an electron. It is again very, very small. So for very large numbers or very small numbers, the representation becomes easier with powers. Now let's see that how exponent helps. Now let's say that we have a number, let's consider 100. So how can we write 100? So 100 can be very well written as 10 multiplied by 10. We can write it like this. Okay, perfect. Now this can be written as 10 to the power 2. What does this mean? This means that 10 is multiplied 2 times. So 10 to the power 2 is that's what it means. Now you might say that okay, but writing 10 into 10 and 10 to the power 2 both are equally convenient. So why do we need to the power 2? Well, in this case, it might sound like this didn't bring much difference, the concept of power. But as you move on to bigger numbers, for example, you talk about 1000. So then it becomes 10 into 10 into 10. So 1000 is 10 to the power 3. If you talk about 10,000, that becomes 10 into 10 into 10 into 10. That is 10 to the power 4. Now, in similar way, if you talk about a number which has maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zeros. So that number can be very well written as 10 to the power 10. Now you tell me which is more convenient, writing this or writing this. So definitely writing this is more convenient. So you see that these are kind of easier representation of numbers. So especially when we deal with very big numbers or with very small numbers. So this type of representation is called the exponential form of representation. So these are called exponential form. So when you write any number to the power some other number, so that representation is exponential form. And how do we read this? We read this as 10 to the power 2, 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 10, and so on. So what are exponents? So these are quantities that represent the power to which a given number is to be raised. So exponents tell us how many times can we use the number in multiplication. Let's take an example. Let's say 2 to the power 4. So what is exponent? So this 2 to the power 4 is exponent. Why? Now, especially this number 4 is the exponent. Why? Because this number represents how many times can we use 2 in multiplication. So if your exponent is 4, that means you need to use 2 4 times in multiplication. So you will multiply 2 4 times. So here 2 is called the base and 4 is called the exponent or power. So sometimes we use the term power instead of exponent. So in similar way, you can think of multiple examples. You talk about 10 to the power 2. Here 2 is the exponent. It means that 10 should be used 2 times for during multiplication. You talk about 10 to the power 1. What does that mean? 10 has to be used only once. Now if we talk about 10 to the power 0, what does that mean? That means that we are not going to use 10 even once for multiplication. So your result would be 1. So because you are not multiplying 10 even one time. So 10 to the power 0 would be 1. So in this fashion, we can represent numbers, especially the bigger numbers and the smaller numbers, as exponents or using powers of numbers. So let us look at this example. Now let's say that you have 1,000 rupees, maybe in the form of some 10 rupees note. So you have some 1,000 rupees. So different ways of representing it. So you have 1,000 rupees. Now if you take one more bundle, now you have some 10,000 rupees. If you increase the amount more, you might even have a lakh. Increase the number more and you might even have 10 lakhs. So you see, representing numbers with more zeros sometimes becomes inconvenient. Now, if I suddenly show you this number and tell you how much is this, you actually need to count the number of zeros, units place, tens place, hundreds place, and only then you'll be able to tell whether it is 1 lakh or 10 lakhs or 10,000. But instead of that, if we represent them like this, 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 4, 10 to the power 5, 10 to the power 6, so that becomes more convenient. So in this fashion, we can make use of exponents very conveniently. Now you might be thinking that till now, whatever examples I have considered, I have only been considering the bigger numbers, very big numbers. So how do we represent the smaller numbers? So basically when we talk about exponents, we can have two types of exponents or two categories of exponents, positive exponent and negative exponent. So positive exponent is all these exponents, those numbers where the power is a positive number, like 2 to the power 4, 10 to the power 2, 10 to the power 1, 10 to the power 0. So these are all positive exponents. So positive exponents help us to represent larger numbers. But when it comes to smaller numbers, we deal with negative exponents. Something like this, 10 raised to the power minus 4, 10 to the power minus 1, 2 to the power minus 6, 7 to the power minus 15. So you see in all these examples, the exponent is a negative number. So this is called a negative exponent. And negative exponent is useful to handle smaller numbers or to represent very small numbers or smaller numbers. So we have already learned about exponents and powers, especially the positive exponents in our previous class, in your class 7th. So this time we will focus more on the negative exponent. So the next question is, how do we read negative exponents? Like, we know how to read positive exponents, but how about negative exponents? So let's look at some examples. So if you have 10 to the power minus 5, so this is to be read as 10 to the power minus 5. Similarly, if you have this, how will you read this? 10 to the power minus 2. Yes, this is 10 to the power minus 2, or you can read it as 10 raised to the power minus 2. How will you read this? This is definitely 10 to the power minus 3. What is this? 2 to the power minus 9. This is minus 15 raised to the power minus 4. Now let's start with simple things. Let's say if I write 2 to the power 4. So what does this mean? This means that 2 is the base, 4 is the exponent, and this means that 2 has to be used 4 times in multiplication. That is, 2 is multiplied to itself 4 times. Similarly, if we talk about 10 to the power 7, this means 10 is multiplied 7 times. So this is what we have learned from the positive exponents, right? Now the question is, what does 2 to the power minus 4 mean? Or what does 10 to the power minus 7 mean? So now 2 to the power 4 and 2 to the power minus 4 definitely cannot be the same thing. So they need to be something different. So what is it? Now let's do this exercise. So we see that 2 to the power 4 is 2 multiplied to itself for 4 times. Now what would be 2 to the power 3? That would be 2 into 2 into 2. What about 2 to the power 2? That would be 2 into 2. 2 to the power 1 would be 2, because 2 to be multiplied to itself only once. What is 2 to the power 0? That means 2 is not at all multiplied to itself. So this is basically 1. Now what are you observing? Now if you look at each step the exponent is getting reduced by 1. So every time the exponent is getting reduced by 1, what is happening on the right hand side? The entire thing is getting divided by 2. So here it was 4 times 2, you divide it by 2, you get 3 times 2. You divide this by 2, you get 2 times 2. Right? So at each step, so when you look at each step, every time your exponent is reducing by 1, the result on the right hand side is getting divided by 2 at each step. So following that, what can you say? 2 to the power minus 1 would be what? So here also you have reduced further by 1 step from 0 to minus 1. So this side, what will happen? This will get divided by 2 further. So this will become 1 by 2. Now if I again proceed further and say 2 to the power minus 2. So this is like the next step of this. So in this case, this 1 by 2 will further get divided by 2. That means this will be equal to 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. Right? Similarly, what would be 2 to the power minus 3? Again, this entire thing will get divided by 2. So this will become 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. Similarly, 2 to the power minus 4 would be 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. Now again, if you look at it more closely, you would see this is 1 by 2 to the power 2. Similarly, this is 1 by 2 to the power 3, because you are in the denominator you are multiplying 2 3 times. Here it would be 1 by 2 to the power 4 and so on. So with this exercise, we understand that for any non-zero integer a, for in this case, that non-zero integer is 2. A to the power minus m is equal to 1 by a to the power m, where m is a positive integer. That is, 2 to the power minus 4 can be written as 1 by 2 to the power 4. So now we have found answers to these. That is, 2 to the power minus 4 is equal to 1 by 2 to the power 4. 10 to the power minus 7 is equal to 1 by 10 to the power 7. So this is how we relate negative exponents with positive exponents. Now not only this, a to the power minus m is multiplicative inverse of a to the power m. That means if you multiply 10 to the power minus 7 with 10 to the power 7, what will you get? you will definitely get 1. That's because when you look at these relations, 2 to the power minus 4 is equal to 1 by 2 to the power 4. So if you multiply these two, what will you get? You will get 1. Why? Let's prove this. So the proof of this would be somewhat like this: a to the power minus m into a to the power m. So by the laws of exponents, when you multiply two exponential numbers, the exponents with same base, so in both these cases base is a, with same base, then the powers get added. So in this case, m minus m would be 0, so this would be a to the power 0, and anything to the power 0 is equal to 1. So the product of a to the power minus m and a to the power m is always equal to 1, which proves that a to the power minus m is the multiplicative inverse of a to the power m. Represent smaller numbers. Now before we do that, let's have a quick recap of expansion of large numbers. So we have learned that the exponents decrease as we move towards the digits on the right hand side. So let us take examples of some numbers. So here we have 12,678. So 8 is at the units place, 7 is at the tens place, 6 at the hundreds place, 2 at the thousands place, and 1 at the 10,000s place. Right? So this can be written as 1 into 10 to the power 4 plus 2 into 10 to the power 3 plus 6 into 10 to the power 2 plus 7 into 10 to the power 1 plus 8 into 10 to the power 0. So what do we see? As we move towards the digits on the right hand side, the value of the exponents gradually decrease. Similarly, if you take another example, so this is a yet bigger number. So in this case, how can you write this? So you see this is units, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, then you have lakhs, 10 lakhs, and so on. So in this case, you can write it as 9 into 10 to the power 7 plus 2 into 10 to the power 6 plus 5 into 10 to the power 5 plus 3 into 10 to the power 4 plus you have all zeros after this. So here also you see the same thing. As you move towards right, the value of the exponent gradually decreases. Now let's see what happens with smaller numbers or with decimal numbers, because when you talk about very small numbers or you talk about decimal numbers, there we make use of the negative exponents. So here also the concept remains the same. So let's take an example. So here you have 1025.63. So in this case, the decimal part of the digit, that is 0.63. So 63 is the fractional part or the decimal part, and this is the whole number part. 1025 is the whole number part. So we will deal with the whole number part as usual, like however we have dealt so far. So this would be 1 into 10 to the power 3, because 5 is at the units place, 2 is at the tens place, 0 is at the hundreds place, and 1 is at the thousands place. So this would be 1 into 10 to the power 3 plus 0 into 10 to the power 2 plus 2 into 10 to the power 1 plus 5 into 10 to the power 0. So this is how we have dealt with the whole number part. Now what about the decimal part? So in the decimal part, now as we are further moving towards the right hand side, so the value of the exponent will further reduce. So this becomes 6 into 10 to the power minus 1. So after 0 you would have minus 1. Then you have 3 into 10 to the power minus 2. So gradually as you keep moving on the right side, what happens is after the decimal point, the fractional part that you have, for that you make use of the decimal of the negative exponents. So this is where negative exponents are useful. Now if you want, you can verify that this value comes out to be the same. For example, this would be 1000 plus 100 plus 20 plus 5. So this will give you 1025. And what about this part? 6 into 10 to the power minus 1. So this is basically 6 into 1 by 10, and this is basically 3 into 1 by 10 into 10, that is 100. So this gives you 0.6 and this gives you 0.03. So when you add 1025 plus 0.6 plus 0.03, you get 1025.63. right? So with that also we have proved that yes, this is how we should expand the decimal numbers. So let's try with another decimal number. It's 1256.249. So this is units, tens, hundreds and thousands. So this can be expanded as 1 into 10 to the power 3 plus 2 into 10 to the power 2 plus 5 into 10 to the power 1 plus 6 into 10 to the power 0 plus 2 into 10 to the power minus 1 plus 4 into 10 to the power minus 2 plus 9 into 10 to the power minus 3. So the negative exponents represent the fractional part and the positive exponents represent the whole number part. That we got a fair idea about the negative exponents, let us look at the laws of exponents. So we have already learned about these laws of exponents for positive exponents. So the same laws are true for negative exponents as well. That is, if you have any two integers a and b, a to the power m into a to the power n is equal to a to the power m plus n. That is, whenever the bases are the same and you are trying to multiply them, then the exponents will get added. When bases are the same and you are trying to divide them and the exponents get subtracted, that is a to the power m divided by a to the power n gives a to the power m minus n. Now, if you are trying to find out the power of a power, that is a to the power m, and this whole power to the power n, that is equal to a to the power mn, that is a to the power product of both the exponents. Now, if you come across a scenario where the bases are different but the exponents are the same and you are trying to multiply them, so in that case your result would be the product of the two bases to the power the exponent, that is ab to the power m. The same is true for division as well. So when your bases are different but exponents are same, the result becomes the division of the two bases to the power the same exponent. A to the power 0 is equal to 1. Any number to the power 0 would always be 1. So let's start with powers of the same base. But this time the examples that we will take, we will consider only the negative exponents. So what happens when we multiply or divide powers with same base? So it says that a to the power m into a to the power n is a to the power m plus n. So let us take one example. Let's say you have 3 to the power minus 2 multiplied by 3 to the power 3. So what would be the result? It would be 3 to the power sum of minus 2 and 3. That is, it would be minus 2 plus 3. So plus 3 minus 2 would be 1. So this would be 3 to the power 1. Now let's take one more example. Now if you want, you can verify this as well, that this is how it should be. That's because if you look at the left hand side, so left hand side is equal to 1 by 3 to the power 2 into 3 to the power 3. So this becomes equal to 1 by 9 into 27. So 9 into 3 is 27. So this is 3. So left hand side is 3 and right hand side is also 3 as per the formula also, like as per this law of exponent. So this proves that the law of exponent holds true. Now let's take few more examples. Let's say 3 to minus 3 to the power 2 multiplied by minus 3 to the power minus 2. So in this case the bases are same, both the bases are minus 3. So this becomes equal to minus 3 to the power 2 plus minus 2. So this is equal to minus 3 to the power 2 minus 2. So 2 minus 2 is 0. So anything to the power 0 is equal to 1. One more example. 3 to the power minus 2 multiplied by 3 to the power minus 4. So here both the powers are negative. So what would happen? The logic would still remain the same. It would be minus 2 plus minus 4. So this would be equal to minus 2 plus minus 4 would be minus 6. So 3 to the power minus 6 would be the answer. Now let us look at division. So here let's say the first example that we consider is 5 to the power 3 divided by 5 to the power minus 2. So this would be equal to 5 to the power 3 minus minus 2. So this would be equal to 5 to the power 3 plus 2, that is 5 to the power 5. One more example, 5 to the power minus 3 divided by 5 to the power minus 2. So both the exponents are negative. So what would be this? Find out the subtraction between minus 3 and minus 2. So this would be minus 3 minus 2. So this would be equal to 5 to the power minus 3 plus 2. That is 5 to the power minus 1. So this is the answer. So in this fashion, whenever we see that the bases are the same, then if we are trying to multiply them, then the exponents are added. If we are trying to divide them, then the exponents are subtracted. Let us now look at power to the power, that is a to the power m whole to the power n is equal to a to the power mn. So let's look at some examples and verify if this holds true or not. For example, if you are given 2 to the power minus 2 and whole to the power 2. So as per this law, this should be equal to 2 to the power minus 2 into 2. That is 2 to the power minus 4. So this should be the answer. But let's try to verify this. So how do we verify? On the left hand side, we have 2 to the power minus 2 to the power 2. So let's find the value of this. So 2 to the power minus 2 is nothing but 1 by 2 to the power 2 whole square, right? So this is 1 by 2 to the power of 2 is 4, that is 2 into 2. And this to the power 1 to the power 2. So this is 1 by 16. Now how can we write 16? 16 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So this can be written as 1 by 2 to the power 4, which is equal to 2 to the power minus 4. So that's the right hand side, right here. So we have proved the value of left hand side is actually equal to the value on right hand side. So this also proves that this law holds true. So let's take few more examples. Let's say you have 2 to the power 3 to the power minus 2. This would be equal to 2 to the power 3 into minus 2. That is equal to 2 to the power minus 6. Now, if you have something like this, where both the powers are negative, that is 2 to the power minus 3 to the power minus 2. So, in this case, this becomes 2 to the power minus 3 into minus 2. So, this would be 2 to the power 6. So, in this fashion, whenever you have two powers like a to the power m whole to the power n, this can be written as a to the power mn, that is product of the powers. Now let's talk about powers with same exponents. That is, the bases are different, but the powers are the same. Something of this sort, where the bases are a and b respectively, but the exponent is the same, which is m. So again, here also we will take examples. So let's first consider examples for the multiplication. So let's say you have something like 2 to the power minus 3 into 3 to the power minus 3. So as per this law, this can be written as 2 into 3 to the power minus 3, that is 6 to the power minus 3. Now how do we know this is true? Let's verify. So left hand side is 2 to the power minus 3 into 3 to the power minus 3, which can be written as 1 by 2 to the power 3 into 1 by 3 to the power 3. So 1 by 2 to the power 3 would be 8 and 1 by 3 to the power 3 would be 27. So 1 by 8 into 1 by 27, which can be written as 1 by 216, and 216 can be written as 6 into 6 into 6, that is 6 cube. So 1 by 6 cube can be written as 6 to the power minus 3, and that's the right hand side. So this is also verified. So let's try one more example. Similar to this, if I give you 5 to the power 3 multiplied by 6 to the power 3, let's say minus 3. So this would be equal to 6 into 5, that is 30 to the power minus 3. Now let's look at division. So if you have something like 4 to the power minus 2 divided by 2 to the power minus 2. So this would be equal to 4 divided by 2 to the power minus 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 2 to the power minus 2 would be the result. Let's try a few more. Let's say you have 15 to the power minus 6 divided by 17 to the power minus 6. So this can be written as 15 by 17 to the power minus 6. Now let us look at few more examples and let's see how do we apply the laws of exponents. So if you have something like this which needs to be solved, so what would you do? So let us look at the first one. So here you see the base is -4, here also the base is -4. So this falls under the category of same base, different exponent. And here we are dividing. So when we divide, what we do? We take the same base and in the power, instead of dividing, we subtract the powers. So this would be 5 minus 8. So this would be equal to -4 to the power -3, or you can even write it as 1 by -4 to the power 3. Let's look at the second one, 2 to the power -3 into -7 to the power -3. So in this case, we have same exponent because both have exponent -3. But we have different bases. So here what we will do, we will multiply the bases, that is 2 into -7 and this whole to the power -3. So 2 into -7 would be -14 to the power 3. This can be written as, okay, so this is -3. So this can be written as 1 by -14 to the power 3. To the power -5. So this can be written as 1 by 2 to the power -5. So this means 1 to the power -5 divided by 2 to the power -5. So 1 to the power -5, what would be that? So that would be 1 to the power -5 can be written as 1 by 1 to the power 5. Similarly, 2 to the power -5 can be written as 2 to the power 1 by 2 to the power 5, because we have learned this, right? So if you have 2 to the power -5, this can be written as 1 by 2 to the power 5. Similarly, if you have 1 to the power -5, this can be written as 1 by 1 to the power 5. So in this case, this meant something like this: 1 to the power -5 into 1 by 2 to the power -5. So 1 to the power -5 is written as 1 by 1 to the power 5 and 1 by 2 to the power -5 is written as 2 to the power 5. So this is equal to 2 to the power 5 divided by 1, because 1 multiplied 5 times also gives you 1. So 2 to the power 5 is 2 to the 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So that is 2 to the 4, 4 to the 8, 8 to the 16, 16 to the 32. So 32 would be the answer. Question number 2. Simplify and express the result in power notation with positive exponent. So this is what is given to you. -3 to the power 4 multiplied by 5 by 3 to the power 4. So this can be written as -3 can be written as -1 into 3 to the power 4 into 5 to the power 4 divided by 3 to the power 4. So this can be written as -1 to the power 4 into 3 to the power 4 into 5 to the power 4 by 3 to the power 4. So -1 multiplied for 4 times. This gives you +1, because -1 into -1. So that is -1 into -1 into -1 into -1. So this gives you 1. Similarly, this gives you 1. So this will give you 1. So this is 1. 3 to the power 4 into 5 to the power 4 divided by 3 to the power 4. So these two will cancel out to give 1. So you are left with 5 to the power 4. Question number 3. Find the value of 1 by 2 to the power -2 plus 1 by 3 to the power -2 plus 1 by 4 to the power -2. So let's see how do we go about it. So in this case, you might say that, okay, the bases are the same, bases are different, but exponents are the same. But do we have any such law of exponent which covers the addition of such exponential numbers? Not really. So let us move in this fashion. So 1 by 2 to the power -2 is something like this. Similarly, 1 by 3 to the power -2 plus 1 by 4 to the power minus 2. So this can be written as 2 to the power 2 plus 3 to the power 2 plus 4 to the power 2. So 2 to the power 2 is 4, that is 2 into 2, 3 into 3 is 9, 4 into 4 is 16. So this is 4 plus 25, which is equal to 29. Question number 4. Evaluate 8 to the power minus 1 into 5 to the power 3 divided by 2 to the power minus 4. So let's see how do we handle this. 8 to the power minus 1 can be written as 1 by 8 to the power 1, which is 1 by 8. 5 to the power 3 can be left as it is. 1 by 2 to the power minus 4 can be written as 2 to the power plus 4. Right? Okay. So now this can be written as 1 by, now what is 8? 8 is 2 to the power 3. 2 into 2 into 2 is 8. So this into 5 to the power 3 into 2 to the power 4. So this can be written as 5 to the power 3 into 2 to the power 4 by 2 to the power 3. So when you look at this, here you have same bases, different exponents, and they are getting divided. So this can be written as the base and the exponents get subtracted. So 2 to the power 4 minus 3. So this would be 5 to the power 3 into 2 to the power 1. So 5 into 5 into 5 is 125 into 2, that is equal to 250. Question number 5. Find the value of m for which 5 to the power m divided by 5 to the power minus 3 is equal to 5 to the power 5. So let's see this. 5 to the power m divided by 5 to the power minus 3 is equal to 5 to the power 5. So here these are same bases, different exponents, and they are getting divided. So the exponents will get subtracted. So m minus minus 3. This is equal to 5 to the power 5. Now since on the left hand side and right hand side the bases are the same, so for the entire value to be same, the exponent should also be equal. Therefore we can say that m minus minus 3 should be equal to 5. That is, this exponent should be equal to this exponent. Or this can be written as m plus 3 is equal to 5, or you can say m is equal to 5 minus 3. Therefore m is equal to 2. Question number 6. 25 into t to the power minus 4 divided by 5 to the power minus 3 into 10 into t to the power minus 8. So how do we solve this? Now 25. Let's keep 25 and 5 together. So 1 by 5 to the power minus 3 can be written as 5 to the power 3. Perfect. Now, and let's keep 10 also with these. And what about t? T can be written as minus 4 minus minus 8. That's because t to the power minus 4 divided by t to the power minus 8. So same base, different exponents, they are getting divided. So the exponents will actually get subtracted. So this becomes equal to 25 can be written as 5 to the power 2 into 5 to the power 3 divided by 10 into t to the power minus 4 plus 8. So here again same base, different exponent, and they are getting multiplied, so the exponents will get added. So t to the power 4, so this becomes 5 to the power 5 divided by 10 into t to the power 4. Now this can also be written as 5 into 5 to the power 4 by 10. So 5 2s are 10 and t to the power 4. So final answer would be 5 to the power 4 t to the power 4 divided by 2. See that how do we write very large and very small numbers in standard form. So you have already learned about writing a large number in standard form. So how do we write it? We express the number as a decimal number between 1 and 10 and then multiply it by a power of 10. Let's look at some examples. So this is just the recap. For example, 24,000. So this is not the standard form, because whenever you want to write it in standard form, you have to write it in the form of a decimal number between 1 and 10. So this is far greater than 10. So how do we do that? So right now, this number actually means 24,000.00. That's how it means, right? So your decimal point is actually at the end of the number. So what we want to do, we want to shift the decimal point to such a place such that we get a decimal number between 1 and 10. So where will we shift it? We shift it 1 jump, 2 jump, 3 jump and 4 jump. We shift it here so that it becomes 2.4. And then we multiply it by a power of 10. So how much power of 10? So how many jumps have you taken here? So the point was here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So total 4 jumps you have taken. So it will be 10 to the power 4. So this is the standard form of this number. 2.4 into 10 to the power 4. Let's look at one more example. Let's say you have this. So you have 12 lakhs. So where is your decimal point? The decimal point is here. So we want to shift this decimal point somewhere such that you get a decimal number between 1 and 10. So obviously you'll shift the decimal number here so that you get 1.2 and then you multiply it to a power of 10. What would be the power? The power would be equal to the number of jumps that you have taken. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be 1.2 into 10 to the power 6. So in a similar way, when we want to represent small numbers in standard form, there also the logic would remain the same. That is, we would still want to represent that number as a decimal number between 1 and 10 and then multiplied by a negative power of 10. So that is the only difference, that this time you will have a negative power of 10. Let's take an example and understand. So let's suppose you have this number 0.00000021. So how do you write this? So here your decimal point is currently here. So how many jumps you need to make so that you are able to form a number which lies between 1 and 10. So obviously for that you should bring the decimal point here so that it becomes 2.1 and then multiplied by a negative power of 10. And what would be that negative power? That will be determined by the number of jumps that you have taken. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be 10 to the power minus 6. So this is the standard form for the small number. So the simple tip is that move right by n jumps. So the value of n in this case was 6. And then the exponent of 10 would be minus n, that is minus 6. So you just need to count the number of jumps. Let's take one more example. So this is another example. So your decimal point is here. So from where, so till where do you want to move the decimal point? So do you want to place it here 5.64? Yes, 5.64 lies between 1 and 10. Would you like to place it here 56.4? So that is far way greater than 10. So that's not the right option. So we will make it 5.64. And how many jumps have you taken? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would be minus 7. So 5.64 into 10 to the power minus 7. So see, with this you must be able to understand that how do we represent very, very small numbers in standard form and how the negative exponents help us in representing very small numbers. Now let us look at these realistic examples where we actually need these values. So if I ask you the mass of the earth, the entire planet earth, so obviously the mass is huge as you can see on the screen. So if I actually ask you mass of the earth, it will take you a good amount of time to calculate the number of zeros first and then find out their positions, right? So what do? Instead of doing that, we represent it in a simpler way. So let's see. In this case, instead of writing this, what we do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So you basically have some 21 zeros after 5, 9, 7, 2. So instead of writing this, we denote it or we write it in its standard form. So right now the 0 is here. So we have to take the 0 all through these places and finally we need to make it reach a place such that we get a decimal number between 1 and 10. So do you think if we place the decimal point here, you will get a decimal number between 1 and 10? No, because 5972 is greater than 10. What if we place it here? We will get 597.2. That also doesn't lie between 1 and 10. Here, no. Here, 5.972. Yes, this would work out. So this becomes 5.972 into 10 to the power, how many jumps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So this would be 10 to the power 24 kgs. So instead of writing so many zeros, you can just say 5.972 into 10 to the power 24 kgs. That's the mass of the earth. So it was very simple. We just moved left by n jumps and then added n to the existing exponent of 10. So here the value of n was 24. Let's take another example where we are trying to find something which is very small. For example, the size of a plant cell. Now, as we all know, all living organisms, they are finely made up of cells. Cells are the building blocks of living organisms. So when you look at a plant cell, which is extremely microscopic, so its size is around this 0.00001275 meters. So how can we represent this in standard form? So your decimal point is here. So we start moving towards right. That is, we start moving the decimal point towards right until it reaches a position where you get a decimal number between 1 and 10. So that decimal number is 1.275. So this can be written as 1.275 into 10 to the power minus how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 10 to the power minus 5 meters. Now, in this fashion, we can even compare very large numbers with very small numbers. For example, if you try to compare the size of the earth with the size of a plant cell, so how would you compare that? So, we know that diameter of the earth is in this range, 1.2756 to the power into 10 to the power 7 meters, whereas diameter of a plant cell is of the order of 1.275 into 10 to the power minus 5 meters. So, let's denote this by diameter of the earth, dE, that's denoted by diameter of the plant cell, which is dP. So the ratio of the earth's diameter to the plant cell's diameter would be equal to 1.2756 into 10 to the power 7 divided by 1.275 into 10 to the power minus 5. So if you compare this part, just leave this part aside. So this is approximately equal to 1. So 1 multiplied by 10 to the power 7 by 10 to the power minus 5. So same base, different exponents, division. So your exponents will get subtracted. So this becomes equal to 10 to the power 12. So that means the mass, the size of a cell, of the plant cell, is very small than that of the size of the earth. Or we can say size of the earth is 10 to the power 12 times the size of a plant cell. Test the following numbers in standard form. So here you have a big number. So where is your decimal point right now? It's here. So we need to shift this decimal point all through these places to reach that point where you get a decimal number less than 10. So we have to shift it somewhere here so that it becomes 6.02 into 10 to the power. How many jumps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is 10 to the power 15. So 6.02 into 10 to the power 15. Let's look at the next one. Here your decimal point is here and you will move towards the right. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this becomes 8.37 into 10 to the power minus 9. So another way of remembering when to put positive exponent and when to put negative exponent is, for negative exponents you would see that you always make jumps towards the right. For positive exponents you always make jumps towards the left. Question number 2. Express the following numbers in usual form. So the numbers are given in their standard form and you have to write it in their usual form. So 3 into 10 to the power minus 8. So since you have, first you write 3. Now since you have minus 8, what does that mean? That means, so whenever we get minus 8, we tend to, whenever we write negative exponents, we tend to move towards right while writing the standard form. So this time, since minus 8 is already given, that means the decimal point was somewhere this side, because only when the decimal point was this side, you would be making jumps towards the right, correct? But it is 10 to the power minus 8, so that means you must have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros after the decimal point. So that how many jumps will you take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, because you have written it as 3 into 10 to the power minus 8. So that means this would be the usual form, 0.00000003. Let's look at the next one. So here you have a positive exponent. First you write the number, which is 361492. Then how many, what is the power on 10? It is 10 to the power 6. So what you do, you put those many zeros, that is you put 6 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So this time you have put zeros after the number because it is positive exponent. So whenever it is a positive exponent, add zeros after the number. When it is a negative exponent, add zeros before the number. So negative exponent, what you do, add zeros in fact, before the number. In this case, add zeros after the number. So you have added so many zeros. Now where would be the decimal point located? So look at this. Here the decimal point is, after the decimal point, how many digits do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So count 5 digits from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the decimal point would be located here. So therefore your answer would be 3614920. So whenever you have positive exponent, add zeros after the number. You have negative exponent, add zeros before the number. Question number 3. Express the number appearing in the following statements in standard form. Charge of an electron is this many coulomb. So how will you express this in standard form? So for standard form, you want the decimal point to be present here. So you need to shift the decimal point from here to here. So it would be 1.6 into 10 to the power minus, how many jumps will that need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. So this would be 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Second one is size of a bacteria is 0.0000005. So for this, in standard form, what is the number that you would need here such that the number lies between 1 and 10? So that number would be 5. So you want the decimal point to be here so that it becomes 5 into 10 to the power minus how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would be 5 into 10 to the power minus 7 meters. Now please remember that if you write it like this, 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 6, even though this value is equal to this, but this is not the standard form. Why? That's because 0.5 doesn't lie between 1 and 10. Question number 4. In a stack, there are 5 books, each of thickness 20 mm and 5 paper sheets, each of thickness 0.016 mm. What is the total thickness of the stack? So the total thickness of the stack would be equal to total thickness of the books plus total thickness of the sheets. So let us first calculate total thickness of the books. So how many books do we have? We have 5 books and thickness of each book is 20 mm. So 5 into 20 is 100. So 100 mm is the total thickness of the books. Now let us calculate total thickness of the sheets, the paper sheets. Now each paper sheet thickness is 0.016. So this multiplied by 5, which gives you 0.080 mm. So this is the total thickness of the sheets. Therefore, let us find out the total thickness of the stack. So total thickness of stack would be 100 plus 0.080 mm. So this is equal to 100.08 mm. Now if I ask you to write it in standard form, how will you write it in standard form? For standard form, decimal point must be located after such a number so that you get a decimal number between 1 and 10. So you need to shift the decimal point to this place so that you get 1.008, which is a number between 1 and 10 to the power how much? Because this time you are moving towards the left. So whenever you are jumping towards the left, then the exponent is always positive, and here you have made 2 jumps, so it would be 10 to the power 2. So this is 1.008 into 10 to the power 2. So please remember this simple thing. Whenever you are jumping towards the left, that is, you are making the decimal point jump towards the left, your exponent is going to be positive. Whenever you are making your decimal point jump towards the right, your exponent is going to be negative. So with this, we have reached towards the end of this lesson, and I hope that this lesson on powers would have helped you. So try to solve more problems and see if you have any further questions, you can definitely post them on the Ask Questions section of examfear.com. See you all in the next lesson.